Welcome to Collaboration Conversations. I'm your host, Regina Partain Bergman, CEO of Bridgeport Strategy. If you've watched our show very much, you know that frequently I start with laughter as we get going here because of whatever is going on before we get started and all of that. So it's all about having fun, folks. If you can't have fun, there's no point in doing it. That's my motto. If I can't have fun doing it, I don't want to do it. So look forward to some fun today. I am thrilled to have my co host today. She and I have been on this journey together for a few years now. And unfortunately, our paths don't cross as often as we would like them to, but I'm thrilled to have her here again today as a co host. She's actually been a co host for me before. So, I want to introduce Miss Irina Strunina. She is a health education facilitator, a podcaster, a speaker, and a trainer. Irina, welcome. I'm so glad that you are co-host today. Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you, Regina, for having me. I do remember few months ago we had this
We did
opportunity
this.
to meet here in this studio, and back then you said everybody is welcome back. So I this time I saw one of your shows on LinkedIn, and I thought I need to get it again,
There you
especially
go.
because we have some changes happen in our community, and I wanted this to be known to the world.
Awesome.
So
I love it.
I'm Irina Strunina. As you
Yes.
said, I am health strategist, and I am helping people. My specialty is to help people with type 2 diabetes to find their grounds, to catch the breath, and start making changes towards their healthier life. And to do so, I am also providing them information and connections with healthcare providers, information providers, where they can actually gather what they need to do those changes in their lives. I also belonging to the community that called Mingle Learning Collaborative. If you remember, Regina, in the past it was Mink Life
Yes.
Motivation Community, but we had some changes happening actually after Regina joined that. And now we have a lot of new people in this community. We are all about collaboration, and we are perfect fit for your show. So
You are.
that that's about me. And I don't know, is it time to start introducing my guests or not?
Yeah, tell me first, if you will, why is the work that you do important to you?
The the importance lies very deeply. Um, I lost my husband due to complications from type 2 diabetes. And I believe that the main reason why the course of his disease went this way is because of lack of information and lack of connections.
Yes.
In our Facebook group, I started this Facebook group, Diabetes 101 for Beginners, with the hope that there will be maybe 200, 300 people that I will be helping on a personal basis. Right now,
What's our
3 years
total now?
later, we have almost 140,000 people in the group. Uh,
That is so
and
awesome.
and as you can imagine, there is no way I can help this many people on a personal basis. That's why now I am bringing providers so people can actually pick people who they want to have as their leaders and their caregivers, as their helpers. And is a choice. And we have events organizing for people so people can learn from the multiple providers simultaneously. So that's why it is important. Lack of information causing people the stagnation, they do nothing, or whereas too much information, people get overwhelmed and
Yeah.
do nothing. And that's why what we do, the basics to give people a chance to make a first step towards their healthier lives.
Excellent. And truly,
That's what
Irina,
I am.
your business is entirely built upon collaboration.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Your business is one of the best examples of collaboration in business. I love it. Thank you. And thank you again for being here today and for inviting our panelists. And let us, would you please introduce each of the panelists and have them share a bit about their journey, who they serve, and why?
Okay, my internet is not very stable today, so I will start with Regina Curtis. As I mentioned in my introduction, that when Regina joined our community, we started noticing a lot of changes. And I think her, when she combined her enthusiasm and knowledge and expertise with our founder, Monica Henderson, that's when all this started blooming and happening.
Ah,
So, Regina, this is the first person who I wanted to introduce. And John, he showed up a little bit later, but he is helping everyone in the community to actually sharpen our understanding of what we are doing. So he is helping with the marketing and strategies, how we can get our message broad and wide, and more people being aware of what our community is doing and what each of us individually is doing.
excellent.
And
Excellent.
that's my introduction for right
All
now.
right. So, Regina, would you go ahead then and give your introduction,
Sure.
tell us a bit more about your journey, who you serve, and why?
Absolutely. So, first of all, thank you both for having me on this show. I love coming and sharing about the work that I do and the work that we do in our collaborative. So, as Irina mentioned, I am one of Monica and I call ourselves the architects of the community, because we really are building the pieces and bringing everyone together. And so, I'll talk more about that throughout. And what I do personally is I'm a soul rhythm activator. So I work with entrepreneurs, especially those who are stepping into their visionary phase, those who have a business that they've been running for some time and found some level of success, and yet they are wanting to expand in a way now that is more nourishing, more aligned with who they are and what they need. I tend to attract a lot of people who've come from a corporate space, having worked in the corporate world myself, having also worked in the space of education, both higher ed and elementary, yeah, all the way through from preschool, all the levels of education. There's this, I call it the machinery mindset of the corporate world, of it just being in the grind and kind of moving through things at a very particular pace. As an entrepreneur, founder of a business, whether it's a small business, a solopreneur, any level of entrepreneurship, your business is an expression of who you are. And it is an expression of you and your creativity. And most of the time, people get into entrepreneurship to solve a problem that they wanted to see in the world, or that through a passion of theirs. Very much my case, my story. In all of those spaces that I talked about, the corporate world, education, all of those spaces, I never really felt like I was able to fully bring all of myself into those spaces, all at the same time. And so I found myself wanting to move between, I have a wide range of things in my career that I've done, because I was always trying to find the place where I fully fit. And then realized, and I've been an entrepreneur my whole life. Honestly, my first job, my first business that I ran was 10 years old. So finally, I just kind of allowed myself to be that, and created my own business. So now I help people align their business activities with their personal energy, their seasons. And I use astrology as a tool to help me do that. It's not so much about getting an astrological reading, but understanding the timing of your internal cycle of development and then
Mm,
bringing that into your business so that you can run your business in the way that actually is most supportive for you. So
mm.
that's kind of how I
That's
got here and who I serve. Hopefully, I hit all the bullet points, but feel free to uh, ask me to and bring anything else into the topic.
No, I think that was really well. You might touch just a little bit more on why that's important to you to do.
Yeah. It's important to me because not only did I, you know, in all these places, in all these different careers that I had, I never, I burned myself out again and again and again because I think I was looking for validation outside of myself, but also I was really passionate about a lot of things. And
Mhm.
I wasn't getting to really flow with my energy. I have a lot of energy. Irina and John will probably tell you this. I create a lot of
I
things.
see
I have a
nodding.
high level of energy and I have a lot of talents, right? Multi-talented, multi-passionate. Um, and in all of the corporate career spaces, whether it was academia or a more traditional corporate space, I generally was tasked with one part of that. And so I always felt like I was being like squeezed. And so I would pour everything into that to try to feel like I was showing up fully. And what would happen is I would like burn out in one area and then swing way in a different direction. So
Mhm.
I would go from doing something really super academic and brainy to something really super creative and artsy to something really super humanitarian and like heart centered to, and I would kept swinging in all these different directions. But as an entrepreneur, what I get to do is really bring all of those pieces together. And I get to help other people do that in the timing that actually aligns with them. So they can bring them all in a supportive way and not burn themselves out.
So you get to use all of you. You get to be, as you're describing those swings, one of the things that made me think about was the different functions of the right and left hemispheres of the brain. And when you're going from that, that
Yes.
highly analytical place functioning out of your left brain, and then you say, "No, I'm done with that. I want to
Done with
get into
that.
my right brain. I need some creative time." Yeah,
Yes.
I totally get that.
Yeah. So yeah, it's something I'm super passionate about. And I don't want anyone to ever feel like they can't fully be themselves,
Yeah,
however weird that is. I say I'm here to help you embrace your weirdness because it's exactly what the world needs.
excellent. Awesome. Thank you. And it's great to have you here, Regina.
Thank you.
Jean, would you give us a bit of your journey and who you serve and why?
Of course, thank you, Regina and Irina and Regina again. Thank you for your story. Because for me, Jean-Francois, all the way from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, and I serve local business owners and online business owners who lack visibility for their product and services, getting more attention for their services to be able to help more people. A lot of the times we start thinking that we want to get into business and it could be for money, but most of the time is we have a purpose, we have a reason why we want to produce these products or the services
Yeah.
that we want to help people with. And like Irina and Regina, like I really started my own company, which is Turn Up Live Media and Mind Connectors and Tech Wizard AI, based on helping more business owners before they actually feel like they don't have enough support. And this is the reason why I keep doing it. We go into this having an idea that we really want to just do the best with what we have, and sometimes we feel like it's enough, but it's only by actually getting the support and the understanding that's where we start realizing like this is possible. This is why I keep doing what I do. Is by giving my expertise to business owners that don't want to know everything about marketing and how to actually use it the best way possible. So
Yeah.
I've created a way for that to happen through our services. And one of our growth systems helps local business owners as well as online business owners just get more visions on their platforms, such as media. It could be Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, And using those platforms is how we can get in touch with more people around the world
Yeah.
and not just locally.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. And again, thank you for being here today. Thank you for accepting Irina's request to come and join us today, both of you.
Of
Let me
course.
just check, make sure we don't have, we have another person that might be joining us, folks. So we'll let them in if they are able to make it. So as I'm listening to each of you and knowing what I know about Irina and what she does, the question that comes to my mind is more about collaboration between you and your clients. How do you collaborate with your clients for their success and yours? Oftentimes we think about collaborating with other businesses and other providers and how we do that. But there's a level of collaboration that has to occur between you and your clients in order for you to help them be as successful as you're striving to help them be. So feel free to jump in and give us your thoughts on how you go about collaborating with your clients and what kind of benefits you've seen from doing that.
Well, definitely, Regina. One of the things that I've also been doing is being part of the Mingo Learning Collaborative, as Irina and Regina as well. And a lot of entrepreneurs get into this collaboration to be able to be part of a group of people that are like minded and are able to actually understand where they're at. Because we've all started from the start, right? Building
Yeah,
something new and not knowing how to actually grow it, right?
right,
But the power is really when a lot of people get together and we start sharing each other's experiences to be able to help somebody else that doesn't have it all figured out yet. And
right.
that's the power of the collaborative, right? The learning aspect is something that we've all gone through, either it's middle school, high school, college, university. But when you're able to implement the knowledge, that's where sometimes it becomes a little difficult. But when you have somebody that's already done it and they can explain it to you in different ways, it can be so uplifting. It can be very inspiring at times, right? So that's my perspective on the collaborative.
Beautiful.
Very good.
Um,
Regina or Irina, who's
Oh, Regina, go ahead. You already started.
okay.
So I have kind of a twofold approach to this, and it is why I'll explain the second part in a moment. But the reason why it's so important for me to have a community aspect of the work that I do, and that's the second one. The first one is my work is very collaborative. It always has been. Even when I was an elementary art school, teacher, I worked collaboratively with my students, which you may be thinking like, what does that even look like? But a lot of times I would sit down at the table with my students and I would draw next to them, right? Like if they would have a question, I would sit down at the table and I would do an example next to them and I would have them show me things, right? I've always had this collaborative approach because I really am passionate about I'm here to help you learn something for yourself, not to show you how to do it like me, right?
Mhm.
I'm here to help you do it in the way that is best for you. And if you don't actually do that thing because you're just mimicking what I'm doing or you're listening to what I'm doing and then you have to go off and apply that on your own, then that's not actually really helpful, right?
Right.
So when we come together and when I come together in the space with my clients, I share tools that I've used for myself, right? And I share experiences. I call myself a mentor rather than a coach because I use the life experiences that I have, the tools that I've gathered along my journey, and I share those with people. But it's not about take these tools and use them in this way. It's like these are tools that I have used.
Mhm.
This is how they've helped me. Now let's together figure out what tools you need and how you can use them, using that as a starting ground, right?
I like that.
The second piece of this is it's always been very clear to me from the very start of moving into a space of entrepreneurship that I needed to have a community to support the work that I was doing. And what we do in this community now, I had my own version of it before I met Monica, who's, my partner in crime. um, she and I brought our visions together and we've created something that's amazing. Like it's beyond what I think either of us ever hoped it could even be. And it's because everyone is a learner and a leader, right? And there
Right.
are so few community spaces where you actually can be a learner and a leader at the same time. Um, and so, as an entrepreneur, you are always learning, always.
Yes.
You will never not be learning, right?
Yeah.
You are always in a place of beginning something new. You some right in the messy middle of something and completing something or in your expertise at the same time. Every
I can tell you've
single
walked this journey.
yeah, right. And if you are doing that all by yourself, it can be really hard. It can be really overwhelming because you're constantly trying to find help for the things that you need to be helping. And you're in this kind of push and pull because you need to be the expert in
Yeah.
your expertise, in your leadership, and also be learning and receiving. And so having a community where you can be both of those things and you can show up in your leadership, in your genius, and also 10 minutes later go into another room and say, y'all, I need help. This is what I need help with. And great. John is there to help me with it. If it's my marketing, right? Irina's there to help me with it. Somebody else is there to help me with it. And we can exchange in that way and still feel confident as a leader because we honor that, being a leader and a learner in the same space. So that's my kind of two-pronged approach to it.
Awesome. Awesome. I want to come back to that in just a moment.
Yeah.
Irina, how about you?
Well, collaborating with the clients, with the customers, this is something that the whole activity that I do are based on. And we just had this conversation with Jean. He's recommending me to implement even more to it, and I agree that there's always something to add to it. But I do remember that when my family got this news that my husband has this diagnosis, we had very limited resources to learn information from. We had very limited places to meet with people. I mean, we didn't know anybody with diabetes.
Yeah.
When you think about it, every third person has either diabetes or has pre-diabetic, is pre-diabetic. You just think about it, in a room of 10 people, at least 3 people have this condition.
Right.
But people don't put it on their chest and say, hey, I
Exactly.
have this, right? People hide it. People don't want to make it public.
Yeah.
Okay. Am I back
You're
online?
back. You're back. Yeah. Yeah. It was just a slight glitch. We're
So,
good. Keep going.
okay. So the platform that I have here gives people a chance to meet with more people who are the same. I am providing them this place where they could see that there are thousands of people who are facing similar challenges, who are facing similar problems, and everyone is different, but at the same time, they have something that is familiar, something that they did experience themselves at certain point, and people learn from each other. And what I'm doing, I'm providing them this opportunity, and they start as maybe private people, but after a while they open up the
Mm,
faces, they open their names, and they recognize that this is something that they don't have to be ashamed of. They do need the team to work to help themselves, and they find their teams. They learn about different providers that uh, different providers that can be the help. they learn about different experiences that people had, and they base on it their own plan. So this is the collaboration that we already have. We keep that going,
And folks, Irina's having a little bit of technical glitches this afternoon.
keep that going.
We keep that going.
I hope,
One
yeah,
of the
my internet
things
is very
one of the things I
consistent
heard
today.
in
Sorry.
that, Irina, one of the things that I heard in that is that it's a safe zone. And I see Regina nodding her head, so I think Irina's frozen again. Can you address that, Regina?
Yeah, I think that's a really important thing that Irina was talking about there is having a safe space to be able to show up and to be vulnerable is such an important part of collaboration. So, Irina, you were frozen. I just kind of was
Yeah.
riffing off of
Yes,
what you were
thank you.
talking
And
about. Um,
you
yeah.
said it very well. Yes, exactly. So this is
Yeah.
this is how we collaborate with our customers, clients, members. And I do go every day online, and I do share my experiences when it's appropriate,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which helps people to learn from my personal past and lessons that we have. So
Yeah.
that
So I'd like
that's
to
my
switch this
answer.
just a little bit. I'd like to just take a little twist on this and kind of going back to a bit of what you were talking about, Regina, when you talked about in one group you may be the person who's providing that guidance and that help and kind of leading that, and then you may walk into another group where you need that guidance and that help.
Right.
But I want us to step back from that just a little bit and think about when you are collaborating with a client,
Mhm.
what do you get from the collaboration? What's the return on investment, if you will, in that collaboration with a client?
So
Regina?
much. So much.
So much.
Yeah.
Can you define that, please?
Yes. So gosh, there are so many things. And I'm going to start with just kind of the basic level. I think with anyone who is in a the coaching industry, we'll just say, in any way, or that are sharing their expertise, there's a level of confirmation that comes from working
Mm,
with the clients, right?
mhm.
Um, there is a joy when I see people get to experience people taking the journey that I have taken to get to where I am. I mean, ultimately, all of the tools and the content that I share is coming from my own personal experience, right? And I shared right at the beginning that it's so important to me because my desire is to help other people not have to experience that struggle, right? And
Right.
to do it in a more easeful and joyful way. So when I get to see them doing that, when they're using those tools, they're using those experiences, they're taking those struggles, that pain that I went through to get to this place, and they're implementing it, and they're coming to me and they're like, this was so easy, this was so fun, this was, in that collaboration, they're making it their own. Nothing lights me up more than that. So that alone is plenty, right? And
And
beyond that, there's so much more, which includes helping me continue to develop these tools, helping me
mm,
learn more about myself. Every time one of my clients is sharing one of their experiences, I learn something deeper about myself 100% of the time. Um,
nice.
and so when I can stay open to that, that is then going to come back and help me even take it deeper with them or someone else
Yeah.
and pay it
Or someone
forward.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. I love that. Sean?
Well, that's a great question. And for me, when it comes to the return, it's all about the trust, right?
Mhm.
When I have trust, especially when somebody else has gone through so many other experiences, when it comes to like the trust somebody else can provide to you, There's nothing like it. Like once somebody can actually say confidently that they're willing to accept your help where they're at, that's where everything changes. I
Good
can say
point.
that yes, the money is cool, but the money is not all about the money, right? Because when they ask me, like, would I rather have $1 million or would I have a million friends that trust me? I will pick the million friends that trust me.
Yeah,
Money
ditto.
aside, I have people now that have gone through so much in their life that can also help me wherever I'm struggling with,
Yeah,
right? And that's the biggest return where I can go back to my clients and asking them for their advice and their expertise and where they're
right.
at. All right. So
Yeah,
that's the biggest investment that I would say is like $1 billion, even more, right?
yeah.
And that's the biggest return on my side.
Excellent. Love that. Arina, how about for you?
Let's hope the internet. For me, I did not know about this, about myself, before I started this journey.
She's going to be right back.
I Uh-oh.
3, 2, 1, now. My husband does that with traffic lights and it works.
Oh, it worked. It worked. There you go. Great skill.
When I was in the training with the business group, very often they ask the question, what do you do for the society? What do you do
Mm,
for the community? And this question was very challenging for me always because I felt like I do nothing.
Mm.
People volunteer in schools, people volunteer in churches, people go to humane society, they start the communities, and I did not do anything like this. I would gladly support somebody's projects. I will give my time and effort and expertise, but I didn't feel this as the drive that I belong to some movement. And when this Diabetes 101 for Beginners project started, I didn't even know that what it will be. As I said, I thought 200, 300 people maybe. Um, I didn't, I wasn't really excited about this. I wanted to do different. But when it started, and in 1 month we had like 5 weeks we had 1,000 members without any advertisement joining the group. It's all of a sudden become a project, a passion project for me, because
yeah.
I see that we actually together as a community are helping people to get better. I am right now, what do I get from that? I get so much satisfaction, and I don't know how to say it, joy, when people writing to me personally, not in a group. Thank you very much for doing that. Thank you very much, because you helped me to find way to live. You helped me to find ways how I can help my spouse to get better. And now we have such a big difference. You with your group uh, created such a community where we can go communicate, exchange information, and that saves us. When I hear this, that my activity saves lives of other people, that I was just providing information. This was the intention. I didn't reach and try to speak this impressive language, but it's not me who is saying it. I'm very proud and humble, and it pays back for me very, and keeps me doing it. It
Yeah.
also gives motivation to keep doing it, because a lot of times it's there, the question is why I'm putting that much time and effort into it. This is why.
It not only keeps you coming back, but it attracts others to your project as well.
Oh,
Mhm.
yes, definitely.
And I'm so proud of you and what you've accomplished with this group and what you're doing,
It's
Irina,
amazing.
Thank you.
as you know.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
For me, it's two things. It's Regina, you talked about energy.
Mhm.
And, there is nothing like the energy that I experience when I get off the phone with a client who is, they're moving forward, they're taking action, and the energy is palpable. And you hang up that phone and you'll say, you have to do something to physically release that energy somehow because it's so huge. So there's that, and then there's what I call being a part of the ripple effect. So as we help one person change their life, whatever that looks like, and it's different for each of us, but as we help that person make those changes, and they go out and impact other lives, then we get to be a part of that ongoing ripple that really has no end. Yeah. That,
Can I say something?
please.
Um, this is something that I don't know, Jean and Regina, you didn't hear yet. When I started this journey, the entrepreneurial journey, Regina was the inspiration for me to do something because it was not the it was not the pandemic yet, and yet this lady will go online every day and speak to people. It may be just me on that day, it may be 5 people listening. Those recordings would stay and people will listen to replay every day, some business related topics. Uh, Without inviting people to join the community, she would just share it to the world. And to me, it was huge inspiration thinking, here's this lady, has a lot of experience, has a lot of knowledge, not asking to give her, back something, she's just sharing. This was a great inspiration for me, and this is why probably I do what I do the way how I do it, also because I have a lot of people talking to me that I am not wise, that it should be done differently,
Mm.
and I am not using the opportunity and all this. But when I see that there are people who do things the same way as I would like it to be done, it helps me, Regina, to stay and do what I'm doing. Maybe we are doing it all wrong, but I am
I don't
That's all
think
not
right. It
upset,
fills our hearts. It fills our
not
hearts.
upset about it.
I mean, that's the ripple effect right there in action. And I think
Absolutely.
it's
Thank you, Adina, too. Go ahead,
it,
Regina.
it's ultimately like, isn't that what it's all about? Like creating the world that you want to live in.
Yeah,
And if you can create that in your circle, in your group of friends, in your, group of colleagues, whatever that is, it ripples out. And
yeah,
the next thing you know, you are walking around in the world and it's like, wait a minute, this is actually the place that I wanted to be. This is what I wanted to create. And you had a part in that, right? We all have a part in that.
yeah,
So I think that's why it's so important to show up in that authentic way.
yeah. I agree. Yeah. It's and you talked about, Adina, how I would do those shows without asking for anything or whatever. And the more we put out into the world, it will come back in some form. Uh, you know, for me, it's not all about the money at all. I am not motivated by money. It's just not a factor for me. Yes, I like it. Yes, I can use it, but it doesn't drive me. You know, service drives me. Being helpful to others drives me. Helping them to achieve their full potential, and then, as we talked about, being part of that ripple effect. That's what drives me. So I can tell we're all kind of on the same page here.
Oh yeah, I think
Definitely.
100%. Because especially when it comes to not letting just the money drive us, it's also
Yeah,
why a lot of us get like to higher levels of success. Because once you're seeing somebody else put on the effort and showing up for themselves every single day, then it opens up new possibilities,
Yeah.
right? Irina was seeing you just showing up and just sharing information. She's like, man, like this is something that I want to inspire to do myself as well, right? Which
Yeah.
as an entrepreneur, we sometimes get into that moment or moments where we're thinking like, man, how can I wake up tomorrow and do this again?
Yeah.
But when you start seeing somebody else that's doing it, you're like, wow, like, yeah, they're getting it going. And that's why entrepreneurship can sometimes be very lonely. But when you're actually in collaborative with other people that are in a similar mind state and space, then it's
Yeah.
very, very powerful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Thank you so much. Well, we have reached the time in the show where we start our wrap up round. And so we're going to call on Irina to run this wrap up round for us. So, Irina, would you call on each person individually to share their final thoughts on collaboration and their contact information? And while everybody's doing that, I'll pop your contact information into the public comments. Irina, are you frozen or are you with us? I think she's frozen still. Regina, would you start us off then with your final thoughts on collaboration and your contact information, please?
Certainly. So collaboration to me, it's essential. Is as an entrepreneur, as an individual, as a professional in the corporate world, it doesn't matter. It is absolutely essential for us to collaborate. And so finding the people that are the correct people to collaborate with are really important. It's not just about, I don't know, in the world of entrepreneurship, we talk a lot about power partners, right? Finding somebody who has a similar audience as you, but does a slightly different thing. That's an important part. And there's so many other parts of it, right? Every person has a need to both give and receive.
Mhm.
And I call it your humanness, right? There's like 4 areas of your humanness that you need to be able to give and receive in: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. And so you have 8 opportunities right there for different ways to collaborate, and you need all of them. So all the opportunities to go out there and collaborate and find the joy in those collaborations, I definitely recommend getting curious about it. So, how you can work with me, I think you dropped all of my contact information in
Mhm.
there. My
Yep.
company's name is at Maitri, so my website is www.atmaitri.com. At Maitri is a combination of 2 Sanskrit words that together mean a journey of kindness towards your soul. It's 2 words that I pulled together to create that meaning.
Mm.
Um, and so that's what we do. We go on a journey together and we work to help you deepen the kindness towards yourself and to bring that into all that you do. A really good way to start working with me is a workshop that I do on the 28th of every month. It's called Charting Your Course, and the link is in there. And that's where we create the calendar of your personal seasons so you can start aligning your life and your business activities with your personal energy. So I'd love to see you there.
Excellent. Thank you, Regina.
Absolutely.
Irina, you want to take over again?
Well, I missed some.
So we haven't heard from Jean yet.
Yeah.
So we still haven't heard his wrap up.
Yes, please do that, John.
Definitely. So for me, like collaboration is all about coming together with people or with someone else that you're able to produce or create something. And for me, for the longest time in my life, I've always collaborated with someone or people to be able to either help me through a situation or helping me create something. Like especially when it comes to like my health. I have ulcer colitis, and if it wasn't for my team of doctors and gastrologists that was able to figure out a plan for me to actually achieve my reduction in the inflammations that I was going through, man, I wouldn't be here talking to you guys, and
Yeah.
girls. But definitely, collaboration is way more than that, right? So you don't have to do everything alone. Every time that you see something or you want to do something that you don't know how to do, there's somebody else that's out there already doing it. So you just have to reach out and be able to say, hey, can you help me? And that's what we're all about. So definitely when it comes to our company and what we do is we help you plan your marketing strategy and being able to get it out there, right? And now producing more visibility for your product and services. So if you want to work with me directly, my name is Jean-Francois and you can reach out on Instagram, and my Instagram handle is j.x.francois. So that's j.x.francois.
Excellent. Thank you. Irina, what are your final
Uh-huh.
thoughts?
Okay, fingers crossed. Um, For one thing, I am loving those collaboration conversations that you have here, Regina. Every time when I listen to those meetings, to those videos, I always find some people who are very interesting to me. Yesterday, I found someone who I sent a video to Regina saying,
I started
"Listen to
listening.
this. I think you and this lady should know each other. You
Excellent.
but
Excellent.
I personally like to be a connector, and that's what I'm doing. People who need services and providing them with information about people who provide services. And if I see that there is some connection going on, if I see that people are helping each other, this is what brings me joy. I am doing those events, organizing events to help this to happen. So if anybody wants to reach out to me, speak on my podcast, do participate in my Diabetic Healthcare Expo, please reach out to me. You could find me on my website, smartmove360.com, or my Facebook, Diabetes 101 for Beginners, or any other place, LinkedIn. Um, don't look for me on Instagram, I'm not there. Uh, but this is what I am trying to do, and working on it every day. Collaboration between people who need help and people who have this help. And as my late husband used to say, help is very useful when it's offered in the way how it was asked for. So
Mm,
this is
I like that.
where we are trying to help people. Hello, Daniel.
Anita, would you introduce Daniel real quickly? Daniel, we are almost out of time, but we got a couple more minutes here. So, Anita,
Daniel is one more person from our Mingle Learning Collaborative community that is helping us to organize our finances and our mind about the finances and also about our business structure. So he's very good. He's business maestro. This is his nickname in the community. And I really wanted him to be here. I have no idea what happened. Why
I have a feeling we had a time mix up. Am I
And
right?
we had a time mix up.
We had a
Apparently,
time. Well, we just love multiple time zones.
I had the time in the wrong time zone.
It's okay.
The hardest math there is to do is time zone math.
Isn't that the truth? Daniel, tell us quickly a little bit about yourself and who you serve and why.
Oh, sure. Okay, so Daniel McCrane. My company is McCrane Associates. I'm located in Des Moines, Iowa. I work with business owners to help them with their exit strategies, making sure that the business can actually survive when they step away from the business.
Excellent. You and I need to speak. You and I need to have a conversation, Daniel. Well, we're glad that you made it. We're sorry you missed most of it.
So am I. My apologies.
It's all right. We'll figure out a way to make up for that. Okay.
All right.
Do stick
Daniel,
around for a moment.
I will connect with Regina. I promise my internet hopefully will be better, and we will have another round of this show. We have more people to invite.
We'll do it again. Absolutely.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
Yes. Daniel, do stick around after we end here. We've got just a little bit of housekeeping we're going to take care of afterwards. Okay.
Very good.
So, Irina, thank you again so much for co-hosting today. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show and anytime I get to do anything with you, it's always a pleasure. I love it. And thank you for bringing these
Thank
wonderful
you.
people and sharing their experiences, their knowledge, and what a great team this is for collaboration. This is a really powerful group because you truly are building your businesses around collaboration, and I love that. So thank you. And with that, we'll say goodbye to our audience. We thank you for being here today. We hope you'll watch some of our other shows. You can find them on LinkedIn. You can find them under Bridgeport Strategy on YouTube. And please come back and watch us again as we have another collaboration conversation. Bye for now.